Okay, here we are again, doing some more old stamps. Okay, and the first one we have right here is Hebert Hoover, 5-cent stamp. Okay, then we have the brown 2-cent stamp. Now if you notice, there is no name on it. Just said United States postage, and then it says 2 with the number 2 and then cents. No name at all, so I don't know if that's a misprint or if it makes it more valuable, but if you know, please leave a comment. I'd appreciate it. Okay, and then we have 1847 to 1947 Franklin and Washington stamp. Kind of see like a little airplane in between them and all kinds of horse in the corner, kinds of stuff going on in that stamp. Okay, and then the 1-cent Thomas Jefferson stamp, the green one. Okay, and a green 1-cent Washington stamp. Then we have a George Washington 20-cent stamp, 1732 to 1982. Okay, kind of giving a side profile view of him. Okay, then right here we get into the black and white 4-cent Lincoln stamp. I have quite a few of those. Okay, now this one here is the 1-cent green Franklin stamp. So I have quite a few of those. Some of them, when you look it up on the web, look like they're expensive, but I don't know if I got the right one for that, but the paper is very, very delicate. So, there's the 1-cent Franklin. Okay, then we have the gold one of Washington. It's an 8-cent stamp, and it says 1732 to 1932 with a beautiful gold-looking view. Okay, and then we have him on a 3-cent stamp, kind of purple in color, with a nice hat here. Really nice. Okay, then a 2-cent Jefferson stamp. Got quite a few of those too. Then here we have a 2-cent purple stamp with the leaves going on the sides and everything. If you notice, it does not have a name on it. Okay, kind of like the brown one earlier in the video. So I don't know if that makes it more worth value-wise. If so, hey, let me know. Let me know the value. Leave comments. I'll appreciate them and stuff, but be interesting to know the value and stuff and what they're really worth. Okay, and then right here we have the 50-cent. And that's William Howard Taft. That's a really nice stamp. Very aged. Okay. And then we have the Washington in blue. Now I have quite a few of these too. 1732 to 1932 blue Washington 5-cent stamp. Then we have John Adams. Got a number of those too, 2-cent stamp. Then here we have the 1-cent Jefferson. Now this is not a stamp, this is just sealed on the letter. So this one's just like a seal. Okay. Then a purple Washington 3-cent stamp. Now this one says Washington underneath, while this one here does not say the name, even though that one's purple too. Okay. Now this one is James Madison, 1809 to 1917, 4-cent stamp. James Madison. Then here we have two different styles. One on the bottom, and Franklin D. Roosevelt, and then the other one with the writing kind of on the side. The two different ways that the stamp went. Same side kind of profile. Okay, then we have the 5-cent Washington, which is blue and white. Then of course the 4-cent Lincoln. Bit purplish. Okay. Then here is the 1-cent green with the leaves and everything. If you notice, that one does not have a name on it either. Kind of like the purple and the brown. No name. Got quite a few of them ones too. Okay, and there's the blue 5-cent. If you notice, this blue 5-cent does not have a name, while the other blue 5-cent Washingtons did have a name. But the ones here with the leaves going up the side, both sides of the picture, does not have it. Alright, so here we are, some more of the old vintage postal stamps. So if you like them, talk about them. Let's see them all. Be sure to sub me as a friend. And hope you've enjoyed my bringing these stamps to you. Alright, bye-bye now. Okay, here we have some rather interesting different postage stamp. Some of them are old, some are, I have no idea. So I'll need your help on some, especially when it comes to this guy here. He's really different. Okay, so let's start with the first one. Okay, right there, kind of very light in color and stuff. Netherlands, 50 cents. Why does he? Very, very different. Okay, you got two stamps there. Bird flying with the shadow of another bird. I'm not quite sure what it all means. Okay. Then we have our 8-cent alligator wildlife conservation stamp. And a nice alligator sneaking right up at you. Okay. Then we have a 4 stamp. They're all 2-cent stamp. 4 of them together to give a nice scenery and stuff. Of the National Park Continental stamp. They're all 2 cents, but all 4 together make a nice design. Isn't that beautiful? Okay. Then we have our 6-cent stamp. Plant for more beautiful streets. At first, when you looked at it, it almost, you know, before you start really looking at it and put your glasses on, it looked like a hurricane. I thought, okay, a picture of 2 hurricanes coming right in together. But it's not, it's trees, it's beautiful. Okay, plant for more beautiful highways, 6-cent stamp. You see a lot of that when you travel to Florida, in between the highways. Beautiful flowers. Okay, then you have the 10 Nippon postage stamp. Look at that, a couple of nice deers there. Beautiful. Then the pine cone and stuff just hanging there. If you can make out all those words, go ahead. Botanical Congress International. 6-cent stamp. Then another 6-cent stamp, kind of from the same thing and stuff. Botanical Congress International. Beautiful flower there, opening up. Okay, then we have the first seal. 8-cent stamp, Wildlife Conservation. That's pretty. Have the whole family together. Beautiful stamp. Okay, then we have Wildlife Conservation, the Wild Turkey, 3-cent stamp. So this one's going back in dates. 3-cent stamp. Isn't that pretty? Wild turkey just flying off. Okay, and then this is the one is really different. 34 cents, USA. Does not say anything else, but it kind of looks like a mole and a lizard. The mole coming out with one of these lizards with the tail, or I don't know. But it's a very different stamp. Okay. Then Wildlife Conservation here. Pronghorn Antelope, 3-cent stamp. Very nice. Okay, the 6 cents, Plant More Beautiful Cities. Then we have the American Bald Eagle, 6-cent stamp. Ah, this is pretty. Whooping Crane, 3 cents, Wildlife Conservation. That is beautiful. Then this one, kind of different in look. It almost looks like, you know, those nickels that were 3-legged and they were worth a lot. Well, you can see 3 of the legs of this buffalo. So this one's just the buffalo. Wildlife Conservation stamp, 6-cent stamp. You don't really see the 4th leg. Maybe that's the reason they made this stamp. I don't know. Must be some interesting history on that one. But there you go. Might have been to match up with those nickels that were made wrong. And valuable, of course. Okay, Plant for More Beautiful America. There you go. And the African Elephant Herd. 6-cent stamp. Kind of nice. So, here we are with the more interesting ones right here. So, if you know anything about some of these stamps, their value, their worth, be sure to leave me a comment. I welcome the comments. Alright, bye-bye now. Hope you've enjoyed my bringing this to you. Okay, here we bring you some more old stamps. Okay, if you all remember the TV shows and stuff of Laurel and Hardy, here we have, woo, 29 cents US stamp. Look at them two. Remember those movies? Good old days, huh? They were funny. the entertainment of the past. Okay, then we have the United States ratified the Constitution of 1788, 3-cent stamp. Then we have the doctor's stamp, 3-cent stamp. Look at that. Looking at his patient, the other one trying to figure out, okay, what's wrong? Let me know, doc. Okay. Then we have the silver Continental, 1859 to 1959, 4-cent stamp. Then we have National Capital Sequential stamp, 3 cents. Okay, then we have Freedom of Speech and Religion from Want and Fear, 5-cent stamp, Roosevelt. (1882 to 1945). Then we have, see if I can get this one focused in right. Okay, this is 2-cent Washington. It's a little bit different. Oh, kind of hard to see them too because of the blending of the colors. Almost like a podium on both sides of his stamp. And I can't read what it says on the top. Okay, then here we have, the 700th anniversary of Dante, his 5-cent stamp. That is a really beautiful stamp because it's like the outlines of his arms, his uniform, his head, everything stands out on the stamp. Really a nice stamp. Very different than the other stamps instead of being just flat printed. Okay, and then we have the first Edison lamp stamp. It's a 2-cent stamp. So that's a first stamp. I know how things that are first are important. That's a first. Then we have the Settlement of Florida, 1575 to 1975. Then we have the brown Washington stamp. It's a 1.5-cent stamp. I didn't think we made half-cent stamps, but apparently we do. Okay, and then we have the 1-cent green. She's holding a torch. The Freedom of Speech and Religion from Want and Fear. Okay, then a movie maker that gets his own stamp. Yay! D.W. Griffith. And this one here, this is very interesting. Final National Increment of the G.A.R. I have no idea what the G.A.R. is. Very interesting stamp. It's a 3-cent stamp. Okay, then of course we all know the Boston Tea Party. Well, they had an 8-cent stamp. Look at that. Even shows how the ship is lit up. The lights through the window. Wow, what a ship, huh? Boston Tea Party. 8-cent stamp. And this one here, this is, I don't know if it falls under the first or whatever, 1869 to 1944, completion of the first transcontinental railroad. What a beautiful, I mean, look at that. The details of making this stamp, you know, with all the people watching as the train comes in, with the smoke and everything. That is a beautiful stamp. Okay, and then we have the landing of Cadillac at Detroit, 1701 to 1951. Okay, so some of the very interesting stamps here. Okay, this group right here seems to be the interesting stamps of the day. So I hope you like my collection. Hope you like that I bring these to you. I know that stamp collectors enjoy watching some of these videos to see what there still is out there in the market. I hope I'm bringing you some that interest you. And be sure to sub me and keep following as I bring you some more stamps. Alrighty, bye-bye now. Okay, here we are with another collection of old vintage postal stamps. And let me take you through them. Okay, first we have photography. The 15-cent stamp. Okay, then we have emphasis. The mineral heritage 10-cent stamp. Isn't that beautiful? Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? That is just so nice. Okay, and then right here we have a Christmas 6-cent stamp that, well, you can't really call it a tricycle, but a big people's tricycle maybe? It's definitely cute, that's for sure. Then we have the U.S. Dance Modern 13-cent stamp. That's beautiful. Now that's art. Okay, then we have Enrico Carrasco 22-cent stamp. Ooh, look at that mustache, huh? That a cute one. I would hate to have to wear that collar though. That's too much. Then we have the Girl Scout 22 medals. Well, they're not medals, they're badges. There you go. 22 badges. Okay. Then we have Jimmy Rogers singing Brakeman, 13 cents. Yay, can you imagine having your own, being a singer and having your own stamp? Imagine how cool that was. So for all you Jimmy Rogers fans, here's a nice stamp here. Okay, and then Davy Crockett. Now, we've watched plenty of those old movies, the old Western movies that we don't see anymore. Well, there's a Davy Crockett 5-cent stamp. Okay, and this one here too reminds you of the old West, especially with the color combination and stuff. This is 1867 to 1967 National Grange 5-cent stamp. National Grange. Then we have Osteopathic Medicine 8-cent stamp. That's nice. Okay, then right here we have 1865 to 1965 International Telecommunication Union. They had themselves an 11-cent stamp. This one here is very different. This is Woman Suffrage. Suffrage. I'm not quite sure how to pronounce that. But it's the 50th anniversary, 6-cent stamp. Isn't that something? I wonder if that's a misprint. Suffrage. Okay, and then the famous Johnny Appleseed. Isn't that cute? The 5-cent stamp. I really like this stamp. This one just, you know, when you look at it, Johnny Appleseed, it just warms your heart. It's a cute one. This one here is different because I can't really say half the stuff that's on it. But Polaska? I'm not quite sure. But look at that. Very nice stamp. Okay, and then we have World Refugee Year. 4-cent stamp. Then we have, oh, the quilters, they needed themselves a 13-cent stamp. And then for all you stamp collecting, 8-cent stamp. For all you stamp collectors, they made a stamp just for you. How do you like that? A stamp of a stamp. 8-cent stamp for stamp collecting. That might have been when they first started stamp collecting, huh? The introduction of it. Okay. Sidney Lanner, American Poet, 8-cent stamp. Then we have the U.S. Homemakers, 5-cent stamp. And we have Henry O. Tanner, an American painter. What a nice stamp. That's nice. That's important. It's an 8-cent stamp. It says 8C, but means 8 cents. Okay, so out of them, these are my two favorites. Johnny Appleseed and Davy Crockett. Alright, so I hope you've enjoyed my bringing you these unique vintage stamps. They're considered antiques because they're definitely more than 25 years, right? Alright, so if any of you are collecting and you need these pieces for your collection, be sure to let me know. Okay, bye-bye now. Okay, here we have our next batch of vintage postal stamps. We start off with Plan for Better Cities. Then we have 1865 to 1965 Salvation Army, their 5-cent stamp. This is for 100 years of service. 100 years. Okay, then we have 1865 to 1968 Support Our Youth, 6-cent stamp. Then we have Crusade Against Cancer, the 5-cent stamp. Early Diagnosis Saves Lives. Then we have Prevent Drug Abuse, 8-cent stamp. Then we have Hope for the Crippled, 6-cent stamp. Then we have Family Planning, the 8-cent stamp. Then this next one is very important. Honoring those who helped fight polio. 3-cent stamp. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? All the kids who came down with polio. This is to honor those who helped to fight polio. 3-cent stamp. Big part of history. And this is Family Planning, 5 cents. Food for Peace, Freedom from Hunger, 5-cent stamp. Then we have A Nation of Readers, USA, 20-cent stamp. Then we have Giving blood saves lives. 6-cent stamp. This one's hard to look at, but it's Help End Hunger, USA, 22-cent stamp. This one here is 1863 to 1963, International Red Cross 5-cent stamp. And this one here, 1910 to 1960, Campfire Girls, 4-cent stamp. Then we have Alcoholism, You Can Beat It, USA, 18-cent stamp. Boy Scouts of America, 4 cents postage stamp. This is 1910 to 1960. The Boy Scouts of America. Then we have Search for Peace, 5-cent stamp. This is from the Lions International. Okay. Well, I hope you've enjoyed my bringing you these stamps. Be sure to sub me. Join me as a friend. Alright. Bye-bye now. Okay, out of this batch, most of them are Romana and India. So, let's start with this first one here. That is Porto 3, Posta Romana. Then we have .10 India Electric Locomotive. Look at that, coming right down the track. Nice blue train. Then we have Erie 1 Pinson. It's a red stamp. Then we have one that looks like someone putting maybe one is police officer in one of those call boxes or whatever. Anyhow, this is a 360 UFI Posta Romana. Blue stamp. Then we have 680L Posta Romana Complexu Politnik. Definitely not pronouncing that right, and I know it. So, look at the stamp and decide for yourself. Okay, then we have a 220L Posta Romana. Minerale Roule Autour. It's a nice ship in the water. It's a blue stamp. Posta Romana. Beautiful stamp. Okay, then we have a few of the India stamps coming up here. This orange looking one that just looks like a piece of land on the stamp. And this is India 50 NP postage. Then we have a purple one that is 15 NP postage. And the N on this one is small while the other one is a capital N. Okay, then the green one here is a 10 NP India stamp. So you have 3 India stamps right here in the row. Orange, purple, and green. Pretty much all look the same. Okay, then we have Portal 5, Postal Ramallah. Looks like a nice architectural building. Okay, then this one here is a Tuli Postal Ramallah. And this is a car, an antique car. Then this one, Postal Ramallah, is a 985 Satati Diva. And this Postal Ramallah is 905 Coliseum. This one is 910 L Postal Ramallah Portil de Ferry. Then this one is 470 L Postal Ramallah Petroli Rule Agi. It's a ship in the water and it's brown. Must be a petroleum ship, I don't know. Okay, then we have this one here, which is the 155 Li Postal Ramallah. Okay, probably like a radio station. Looks like that's what it looks like. This one here just looks like a bunch of envelopes in an envelopes. Porto 5B Postal Ramallah. This one here is a 320 Li Postal Ramallah. This one, oh, this is beautiful. I just love this one. This is a 1L Postal Ramallah Curti de Agi. What a beautiful building. It's a blue stamp. It is beautiful. Castles type style look to it. Okay, and then this last one is a 240 Li Postal Ramallah. Kind of looks like a radio station too, because it's got those circles, you know, that sends waves. Okay, so I hope you've enjoyed my bringing these to you. I hope you like them. Be sure to sub me and join me as a friend as I bring you some more old vintage postage stamps. Bye-bye now. Okay, this video is all about numbers. Okay, first you have the US, and this is just a stamp. Not a stamp, but stamped on. 4 cents. It's got a picture of a ship. It's a United States stamp. Okay, then we have some more United States stamps that have just numbers on them. This one here has a 2. This one has a 5. This one has an 8. It says 8 cents. This one has a 10 cents. Then we have Netherlands. This is a 2 cent. No S behind that one, just 2 cent. This is a 4 cent. And this is a 50, but Helvetia, Helvetia stamp. And these are Postal 4 filler Magva Posta stamp. Then we have a 16 Porto filler Magva Posta. And we have a 51 Porto filler Magvar Posta. Okay, then we get into, look at this one, Netherlands. This is a 1.5 cent. Beautiful purple. Almost looks like it's inside of a bird. I'm not quite sure what the design is, but it's a beautiful, beautiful purple Netherlands stamp, 1.5 cent. Okay, now here we have two more of the U.S. stamps, but if you notice on these two, it looks like it's kind of like a lace background. Very lacy kind of looking, like, you know, it was laid on a lace kind of design. I don't know, I'm trying to get it better, but I don't know how I can get it to zoom in for you to see the lace. But this is a 1 cent, and it says postage due, 1 cent, United States. The lace design kind of background behind the one. And then this one is a 10 with that lacy kind of background behind the 10. That's 10 cents. Okay, and then we have a bunch of Netherlands that are just 5C, 10C, 25C, 45C, these are all Netherlands, 50C, and 60C. Okay, but the two most important ones, I believe, out of this batch are these two, with the lacy kind of design in the background. These are beautiful stamps. Okay, be sure to join me and sub me. As I bring you some more. Okay, here we have a whole bunch of Canadian stamps. Starting with this first one here. Postage 1. So that's a 1. And this first row all seems like it's the same lady just about. Okay, that's the 1. It's in brown. Then we have 2 that's in green and white. Canada. Then we have 4. Kind of a pinkish red. Then we have 5, which is blue. And then we have 6, which is kind of orange. Okay, then we go on to the men in Canada. And here we have 1 cent. Then we have 2 cent. The 1 cent was green. 2 cent is brown. It's got a beautiful hat on. Then this one here is the most interesting one. He is a 2. But if you notice, in the upper right hand and left hand corner on top, there are crowns. This is on a, well, looks kind of reddish burgundy type stamp. So the two upper corners have a crown, and the two bottom corners have 2s in square blocks. And then it also says 2 cents in the middle. And this is a Canadian stamp. It says Canada postage on the top. Okay, then we have our burgundy 4-cent Canadian stamp, because he's got his cap on. And then this Canadian stamp, it just says 1C. This one does not have a hat, he's green. Okay, and then we have our 1 cent Canadian stamp here with a lady with a crown. Now if you notice, on both upper corners it has an E and an R. This 1 cent Canadian stamp. Now and that's brownish in color. This next one is a 5 cent Canadian stamp that also has the E, capital E and capital R, on both upper corners. It's a blue stamp with a crown on. Okay, and then we have this 8 cent stamp. Canadian stamp. Which kind of looks like the same ladies as the first top row. Okay, then we have a 3 cent stamp. Kind of purplish man's, a man on it with his cap on, Canadian, 3 cents. And then we have a 5 cents Canadian Christmas stamp. It says Christmas Noel. It's a Canadian stamp. Then we have a blue lady, and it just says Canada 8. Then here we have John G. DeFambanca. 1895 to 1979, Canadian number 7 stamp. Then we have a Canada 6 cent stamp, Jean Paul Lemieux. Then we have a Canada 50 Sleigh Train à Bâton stamp. Then we have a Canada 6 cent stamp, 1769 to 1969, Charlottetown. Alright, so I think that the most interesting stamp out of them all is this one right here. The 2 cents with the crowns on the upper corners and on the bottom, 2s in the square blocks, and then in between it says 2 cents. I think that this Canadian stamp is the most important and prettiest out of this collection. Hope you've enjoyed my bringing this to you. Be sure to join me as a friend to stay tuned for more of whatever I bring you. Bye-bye now. Okay, here we bring you some more of the old vintage stamps from my collection. And we'll start right here. This is James Hoban, the White House architect, 18-cent stamp. Then here we have the Treaty of Amend and Commence between the USA and Sweden, 1783. Then we have 1905, Service Above Self to 1955, 8-cent stamp. That's a beautiful stamp. Look at the flames, the torch. Very nice stamp. And then we have Cherokee Strip, 6-cent stamp. The old horse and buggy, huh? In a race. Okay. Then we have, we're getting into the history now, 1876 to 1951, Colorado, 75th anniversary of statehood. And this is pretty. I like this one. Can't pronounce any of it. GR25. Postal. Very nice. Look at that. Very historical. And this one here, very nice 18-cent stamp. This is the first woman physician, Elizabeth Blackwell. First woman physician. Very famous, deserved to be on a stamp for sure. And this one here, old and looks very old. Definitely a family, beautifully dressed, outside. Very nice 5-cent stamp. And this is in memory of Virginia Dare. That's what it says at the very bottom. 1587. Very nice stamp. This one I think might be worth something. Okay. And then we have Fort Henry. Guidance of the Pioneer, 3-cent stamp. There's some history there, huh? Here's some more history right down here. Okay, we have 1776 to 1951. Washington saves his army at Brooklyn. For all those of you doing history reports, this is a good one. Okay. And there, look at this. This looks like a big meeting going on, huh? 3 cents purple anniversary of motion pictures. No, I don't think that's the stamp. I think this one's the motion picture one. What did I do? Okay. This one's the motion picture, 3-cent stamp. This one here is 1787 to 1937. Constitution Sequencentennial with some pillars on both sides. Look at that. Look at the design of the pillars. Very nice. There's a big meeting going on here. This is a very nice stamp, very designed. A lot of work went into this one. Craftsmanship for sure. But then everything they did back then was. Can you imagine a room full of people and to design that into such a tiny little stamp? Then fancy up the signs too. That's a lot of work in that one. Okay, and we already did the motion picture. And then this is Washington in green on a 1-cent stamp. If you notice, the date that it was stamped from the post office is 1938. Okay, then we have the Sciences 5-cent stamp. Then we have 1864 to 1964 Civil War Continental, the Wilderness 5-cent stamp. See that cannon? Woo! Okay. Then we have Frederick Douglass, 25-cent stamp. And C.M. Russell, the American Artist. Okay, so these to me are the two most important stamps out of this collection. So if you think so, let me know. Okay, be sure to leave comments, join me as a friend, and I hope you enjoy my bringing you these videos. Bye-bye now. Okay, this batch is all about sounds and music, and we even have Alexander Graham Bell in here. All right, so let's get going. Okay, this first one here is 3.50. The Music of America is Freedom's Symphony. There you go. And this one here kind of looks like a jukebox. 1995, pre-sorted first class. Not an old stamp there. Then we have this one here, 13 cents. The 50th anniversary of Talking Pictures. Then we have Continental of Sound Recording. Look at that, crank her up. 13-cent stamp. Okay, then over here we have 7.7C, Music of the Union. And here's a nice oldie. The Voice of America, 5-cent stamp. Look at that. You get all the waves there in red and blue. That's a nice one. That's an oldie. Okay. And then here we have Alexander Graham Bell, 13 cents. Telephone Centennial. Look at that. Alright. And then we have Amateur Radio, 5-cent stamp. Just the waves and sounds. I guess that was the way to describe music. Yay! Alright, then we have 3.1C, Listen to Love, Listen with Love to the Music of the Land. Then we have the Fine Arts, 5-cent stamp. American Music, 5-cent stamp. Okay, then down here we have 8.4 Harmony in Music. Grand organ. And then here, this is W.C. Handy, Father of the Blues, 6-cent stamp. That says it all, just the picture. Father of the Blues. Okay, then we have William N. Hardnett, 6 cents American Painting. Putting all the instruments in there. famous picture. Okay, and then a California 1769 to 1969 bell kind of stamp for some more sounds. Alright, so I think maybe this one right here, Voice of America, is a very interesting stamp in this collection. Alright, now, bye-bye. Okay, here's another group of vintage stamp, old postage stamps for you to check out. Okay, first we have the 50th anniversary of the trucking industry. This is a 3-cent stamp. You can see the homestead in the background and truck up front. Okay, then we have the Silver Continental 1859 to 1959 4-cent stamp. Then you have the 6 cents Liberty stamp of Fort Moultrie. Fort Moultrie flag, 1776. This is a 6-cent stamp. Okay, then this next beautiful ship, really a nice one, Republica Argentina, 25 cents, 1977. What a beautiful ship, huh? Then we have 1957 American Institute of Architects, their 3-cent stamp, kind of pinkish in color, for architects. Okay, this next one, now this is, boy, you've heard a lot of history on this one. This is the Grand Canyon. This is the 2-cent stamp of the Grand Canyon. Really nice. Very old stamp. Okay, then we have Texas, 1836 to 1936, 3-cent stamp of Sam Houston and Stephen Austin, Poland. Oops. This next one's the Poland stamp, 5-cent stamp. Just has their flag. And this one here, would not be able to pronounce any of it. Mariazell, Republic, Ostrich. Looks like a nice castle from the Wizard of Oz. Okay, this next one is the Tennessee Volunteer State. This is their 3-cent stamp. Oh, God. Very nice. Now this next one has a lot of history in it. Okay. We have 2 famous people on it with a ship in between. This is a 2-cent stamp. Decatur Mudachu. Decatur is United States. Mudachu, Saratoga. Very interesting. This is an old stamp. Okay, and this next one is the Golden Gate, United States Postage Golden Gate 20-cent stamp. Golden Gate. Okay, then we have New Jersey Tercentenary. 5-cent stamp. There you go, part of history right there. Then the Alaska River Navigation, 6-cent stamp. Then A Century of Friendship with the United States and Canada, 1848 to 1948. And there's a Belgie O.20 Sporwegen stamp. Okay, so I think this one right here is our most interesting stamp out of this batch. What do you think? If you know some of these stamps, you know things about these stamps, go ahead and leave a comment. Alright? Especially if you know the year of the stamps. That'd be very helpful to other people who are also watching the video. Okay? Bye-bye. Okay, let me take you through this batch of stamps. This first one's rather interesting. It's Belgique, and it says 1835, and it's 0,80 Chemists of Fear Spookweekend. A very, very different, like a train on the train track. Very different stamp. Okay, then we have our 5-cent stamps. Cordell Hull. Then we have Civil War Continental Appropriate with malice towards none. 1865 to 1965. Then we have USA, $3.50 with the capital. Okay, and then we have a Finland stamp, 0.50. Suomi, Finland. And this says 1870 to 1970. Then we have another Finland. Got the world. It's got a beautiful gold design on it. Suomi, Finland. 0,50. And then another Finland one. 0,05. Canoe by the water, green stamp. Then we have a $1 American Light Fueled by Truth and Reason stamp. Then we have a $1 Helvetia stamp. Then Contello Di Roverito 500 Italia stamp. Isn't that a beautiful picture, huh? That is really nice. Okay, then a URE 5 Post Repubblica Italiana. And this one, look how nice this one is. Beautiful stamp. Okay, so if few ox there, and the man working the fields with a hoe, making the rows. 55. URE, Posta Italians stamp. Beautiful stamp. Beautiful Italy stamp here. It's a URE 300. It's pink. Posta Aria. Then we have another one of those revenue, a postage revenue stamps, 3D, with the E and the R in upper right hand corners on a purple stamp with the lady with the crown. Beautiful stamp. Only one little bundle of flowers in this one. And then we have a 60 GR Polska stamp. And then another one of the URA 20 Italiana stamp. Alright, so the two most interesting ones are these two right here. I find these to be the most interesting one. I hope you like my bringing you these videos. Be sure to leave a comment. Check them all out. I got more to come. Okay, here we have some more vintage postal stamps. A lot of these are postage revenue stamps. There's even like 3 half pennies instead of calling it a penny and a half. We have Denmark, Mexico, Francis, Italian. We have a whole bunch here, so let's get started. Okay. There's our first one there. Postage revenue. It's a half penny stamp. Green. You see the crown over his head, not on his head. Beautifully designed. Half penny stamp. Then we have this one here. Postage revenue 1 penny stamp. See, it's got leaves on the side going up. Okay, then we have this one here, kind of a bit of a purple looking. 50 Post Italian. Okay, and if you notice on the left hand upper corner it says cent. But this is a 50. Now this next one also says cent up in the left hand corner, but this one's 30. The brown stamp. Okay, now we have this one here from Denmark, 20. If you notice on the left hand corner there's a crown with a, looks like a C on it. Then this one is very interesting. Brazil, Coriad. I mean, look at the details of that. Almost looks like $1.20 or something like that in the right hand bottom corner. Can't quite make it all out. Reminds you a lot of the Emperor days. Very nice stamp from Brazil. Okay, then we have this next one. This 10 cent is from Mexico. Glorious, Mexico, 10 cents. Kind of purple in color. Nice stamp. Because of something written on the banner, I can't quite make it all out. Okay, then we have a Denmark stamp, ORE 15. If you notice, it's got a nice ship on it. Really nice. Okay, and this, oh, lovely, lovely, lovely stamp. This is 5 cents. Republica Francis 5 Posty. Beautiful green stamp. Lovely. Then this next one is also another very interesting one from Brazil. It's 100 RE. Ablacao. Not quite sure. But boy, isn't that pretty. Look at that. It's like an empire. Very pretty. And then we have another one. Republic Francis 10. Kind of a brick red kind of looking stamp. 10-cent stamp. Beautiful lady. Okay, then we have this brown 3 halfpenny. Doesn't say a penny and a half, it says 3 halfpennies. Just a man stamp. Beautiful design all around him. Then this one here also says 3 halfpenny. He has a crown that's around his circle that says postage revenue. Gibraltar. Don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. Nice postage stamp. Okay, then we have this one here. The crown is over his head, not touching his head. Postage revenue, 1.5D. Green stamp. Flowers hanging on the bottom. And that same stamp right here, which is 2.5D, with the crown over his head, not touching the head. Postage revenue, blue stamp. And this one here is kind of red. Got some leaves around the man, kind of in a circle, and it says 1 penny on that one. And he's got a little crown over his head that's not touching his head. Okay, so the two that I find very interesting in this batch are these two. So, if you know about these stamps, you want to talk about it, leave a comment. If you know anything about them, or just want to leave a comment. Alright now, bye-bye. Okay, here we have some more stamps. A lot of them are from Belgium. We have Erie, and we have Polska, Denmark. Quite a few different ones here. So let's get to it. Okay, here's our first one right here. 5 cents. Mariano, Republican, Argentina. 5 cents. Got a little piece missing up there. Okay, then we have this next one right here. Belgique, red 10. Then we have Erie, Nalo Pinson, 9 stamp. Kind of purplish in color. Looks like an armor. Then we have Belgique, 10C stamp, brown. Then we have postage revenue, 3 halfpenny stamp. It's brown, you can see. And this one's where it starts to get a little bit interesting here. This is a Belgian stamp, a 5C. But look at the design of that one. Isn't that a beauty? Very nice. They took a lot of care in the details of stuff back then. Then we have the next one, Belgian 50. Looks like a dragon, a blue dragon. Blue stamp. The lines go up and down on this one, which makes it very different. Very old. Some of these are very paper thin. Okay, then we have an Erie 5 Pinson. A sword with the lighting around the sword. Then we have an Erie 4. And this man here, this red stamp, is also a Belgian 10. And around the man, you know, has leaves and everything. Very nice stamp. And we have another one of these Belgian 5 cents. Looks like a green dragon. It's the green stamp. Looks like a dragon. Then we have postage revenue. This is a 2D brown postage stamp. The crown's over his head but does not touch his head. Flowers in each corner. Okay, then we have a 60 GR Polska stamp. The captain there with his binoculars and stuff, and 2 ships in the water. Well, 3 ships in the water. Beautiful, beautiful stamp. Okay. Europa stamp. Now this stamp is very different because it's a bunch of birds that are shaped in a bird design. How's that for a stamp, huh? Very different. Okay, and then we have the Denmark. This is KR, and then you have the crown. Then KGL, Post Denmark. Alright, so my most interesting ones are these 2 right here. So I hope they end up being the top cover because they are very interesting to see. So join me as a friend. I have more stamps to come. Bye-bye now. Okay, this video is going to be all about crowned ladies. They've all got crowns on them. So let's go ahead and start right in. This first one is 7IP2. There we go. Now we got it focused good. And this next one is postage revenue 1. Crowned lady. Different shades of brown with a rose on top. Has a 1 in the middle. This next one is postage revenue 4.5D. If you notice, it has an E and an R in the upper corners. Next one here is postage revenue 6 pence. Then this next one is a black crowned lady, and it says 4D. Black crowned lady. And this one here, kind of a, I don't know, grayish green kind of color. and it has 3 IP2 on hers. Then this next one, oh, isn't this beautiful? I love this one. This one is just so pretty. It's got the dragon in between. It's a 3D postage revenue, purple. Look how fancy and designed that is. That is so beautiful. I love that stamp. Okay, and right beside it, we have 1957 Jubilee Jamboree 4D. Very nice, with the birds flying and everything. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Okay, then this next one is 1, and then I don't know if it's supposed to be 1/3 or what that's supposed to be. She's green, she's got rose, beautiful flowers, and it's a postage revenue. Beautiful stamps. Isn't that lovely? Okay, then we have this one here. Postage 3D. Kind of a different shades of purple. Then we have this one. Oh, isn't that beautiful? Love it. With the flowers and everything in the corners. Pinkish with a deeper pink in the side. And it's an 8D crowned lady. Postage revenue stamp. Now this one here, pretty much orange in color. And it's 1/2 D postage revenue stamp. She just has flowers going all around her, of course with her crown. Then we have this one, red in color, red crowned lady with 2 1/2 D. And if you notice, E and R is in the upper corners. This one here, just a bunch of roses going all around her. This is a blue postage revenue stamp. It's a 1D. Very pretty. So dainty and beautiful looking, ain't they? Okay, this brown one is a 7P stamp. This violet crowned lady is a 5P. This lime crowned lady is 8 with a 2 and a P, a little 2. This one here, look at that, there's a dragon in the upper left hand corner of this crowned purple 37P lady stamp. Then here we have a bronze 50P crowned lady. So I think the best and prettiest of them all to me is this purple one right here. I think that is so beautiful. Very nicely designed, elegant in looks. Very nice stamp. Okay, hope you've enjoyed my bringing these to you. Be sure to sub me now. Bye-bye. Okay, here we are with some more heritage stamps. Nice vintage old stamps and everything that are definitely a good investment, especially now with the web going and everybody's in touch with everyone through websites and all that stuff. Not going to see so many stamps, so the good old ones are really a good investment. Okay, so first we'll start with some of the heritage stamps. Okay, Ida B. Wells, 25-cent stamp. Then we have Benjamin Banneker, 15-cent stamp. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? Have another scenery in front of him. Okay. Then we have Jean-Baptiste Point du Sable. 22-cent stamp. You can see the little house right inside his picture too. And then we have, of course, Martin Luther King Jr. His 15-cent stamp. Then one we don't see so often is Whitney Moore Young, 15-cent stamp. Okay, you read about him in the history books, but not so much. Okay, then we have Chester W. Nimitz, 50-cent stamp. When I first looked at that, I thought, okay, the captain on Gilligan's Island, but no, much more important than that. Okay, then this one here. This is a really, really nice one here. This is Dr. George Washington Carver, 3-cent stamp. Then we have Grant, his 8-cent stamp. Haven't seen too many of those floating around. And then we have Benjamin Franklin, 1/2 cent stamp. Just a half a penny. I have some of those coins too that are just a half a penny. Don't know how you can split a penny, but they did back then. But we used to be able to get 2 pieces of candy for a penny too, so there you go. Alright, and then Buffalo Bill Cody, 15 cents. Look at that mustache. Okay, then we have Bernard Revel, the $1 stamp. Then we have right here Harding, 1.5 cent stamp. I don't know where they get all these half a pennies, but here's Harding. Okay, then we have 1923 to 1929. So it's only 6 years. Calvin Coolidge stamp. Okay, $5 stamp. Uh-oh. 2 squirrels are fighting for the feed here at the window, so that's what you're going to hear on the side, the little screaming of them. Okay, and then we have Roosevelt's blue stamp, 5-cent stamp. Roosevelt blue 5-cent stamp. Then we have Crazy Horse. We have a lot of movies that were made with Crazy Horse. Okay, and then we have the 32 cents. It says Edward Murbridge, 1830 to 1904, photography. Okay, then John F. Kennedy, 13-cent stamp. And this guy here, General John J. Pershing, 8-cent stamp. Then the American composer, George Gershwin, 8-cent stamp. Okay, so here are some of the important ones right here that are the most important ones out of this group. Hope you've enjoyed my bringing this to you. And stay tuned because I have some more of the old stamps. Bye-bye now. Okay, let me take you through some more of the old vintage postal stamp. We have a lot of sports stamps on this one, along with some exhibitions. So let's go. Okay, here we have 1869 to 1969, professional baseball. 6-cent stamp. Look at that. Ball is right in the air. What a way to get a picture, huh? Okay, and here we have another one. 1869 to 1969, but this is football. Now, if any of you know the guy standing there talking to the football player, be sure to leave a comment. I think that would be interesting to know. Okay, share it with everybody else. Thank you. Okay, then we have Olympic Winter Games. Now, if you notice, Olympic is X-O-L-Y-M-P-I-C. Okay, games in Sapporo, 1972. 8-cent stamp. The paper on this one is very, very thin. Okay, and then we have the USA Olympics in 1980, 15-cent stamp. And this one here is also a very different one. 8-cent stamp. EMA, and then I don't know what the next letter is. HELLAS. And if you notice, there's a little AP, 8. And this is 1969. Okay, then we have Centennial of the Sokol's Physical Fitness. Oh, right here we forgot about the Olympics of '84. Sorry about that. 20-cent stamp. And then that one there is the physical fitness one. Okay. Then we have the Roanoke Voyage of North Carolina, 1584, 20-cent stamp. What a beautiful ship, huh? Look how big that is. Like the sails are bigger than the boat. Good wind could tip that one real fast. Okay, probably did too. And then we have the Historic Preservation, 8-cent stamp, San Francisco cable car. Then we have Colonial American Craftsman, 8-cent stamp. Then Rise of the Spirit of Independence, 8-cent stamp. And a very important one here, the 2-cent stamp. Jackson and Scott, 2-cent stamp. Then we have Professional Management, 18-cent stamp. Then we have World Peace Through Law, 10-cent stamp. And this one here, the 3-cent stamp, 5th International Philatelic Exhibition, New York Coliseum, 1956. Then another 3-cent stamp, Universal and International Exhibit of 1958. And this one here, Corregidor, 3-cent stamp. Alright, so here are some of the very important stamps. Hope you've enjoyed my bringing these to you. Bye-bye now. Okay, here we have some more of the old vintage postal stamps. First one we have is the $1 Hong Kong Then we have 4D Australia. Then we have Australia 7C. The beautiful crown on her. Beautiful purple stamp. And then we have Portugal, the brown, 1 ESC. Man on the horse. Then we have Dominion of New Zealand, 4D, 4 pence stamp. Dominion. It's a red and tannish kind of stamp. New Zealand. Then we have España, 4 cent. Correos, 1946 stamp. The man on the horse. Then we have another España, 60 CTS. I have a picture on the right hand side and the whole face side view of a man. Pretty much an orange type stamp. Okay, then we have Portugal 2 ESC. The knight on the horse. Then we have a 2.5D. Uh, 5D Australia. This one's a 5D. The next one's the other one. Beautiful lady with a crown on. There you go. Okay, and then we have the man, 2.5D red stamp, Australia. Very nicely designed. Then we have España, 10 CMS, Corsos. They love to be on the horses. Okay, now this one, oh, it's a green stamp of a beautiful bird, 1/2D New Zealand, postage and revenue bird stamp. Isn't that beautiful? Okay, then we come down here at 10 55C Netherlands. And that 55C Netherlands was Juliana Regina. That's the name on both sides of the stamp. Then we have our 10C Netherlands stamp. Kind of orange in color. Then we have, it's a dollar sign with 50, representing, I believe, $50. Portugal stamp. Coimbra Universidade. Don't know. Just a lot of nice building. A nice Portugal stamp in blue and tannish kind of color. Okay, then the last one is a 3D New Zealand. Goahi. Couple of birds on the stick. Beautiful New Zealand stamp. Okay, so these guys, I believe, are the special one out of this group. Hope you've enjoyed my bringing this to you. Be sure to sub me, become a friend, so you can follow some more of the stamps that I bring you. Okay, and I'll be bringing you other stuff. The stamps is kind of like a fill-in in between different events going on in the community. So stay tuned and I'll bring you all kinds of good videos. Bye-bye now.